Hello everyone, this is Raju, Assistant Professor of Chemistry in Freshman Engineering Department, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College, Dundigal, Hyderabad. Today our topic is batteries. So in the batteries, the main topic about batteries are introduction to batteries and the classification of batteries, difference between the primary and secondary batteries, and next what is the primary battery and what is the example and how the oxidation reaction takes place, how the reduction reaction takes place, that only we are discuss in the primary batteries. And in the secondary battery, we are discuss about the lead acid storage battery, how the charging and discharging takes place. That topics we are discuss in the batteries. Battery is the device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy, that is called as batteries. The battery is the electrochemical cell. In this electrochemical cell, chemical energy converting into electrical energy, and it is the device. The series of cells also called as battery. Series of cells also called as battery. What is a cell? Cell means the electrode and the electrolyte. This is the electrode and this is the electrolyte. Electrolytes. So this is called as cell. This type of cells, a combination of cells are called as battery. When two or more electrochemical cells are electrically interconnected, each of which containing two electrodes and an electrolyte is called as battery. These batteries are mainly classified into two types. So that are primary battery and second one is the secondary battery. So this primary battery, these best example of the primary batteries are alkaline manganese, zinc carbon and button. So in this one more is there, that is a dry cell. So this is the primary. And secondary batteries, lead acid batteries, nickel cadmium batteries, nickel metal hydride batteries, lithium ion batteries. So these lithium ion batteries are there now. These are mainly they are used in mobiles. So you see in this diagram, so this is the lithium ion battery. Lithium ion battery is the secondary battery. And now this is the dry cell, Lakeland cell. So this is the primary batteries. So lithium cell, this also primary battery. This is the lead acid cell, secondary batteries. So these are rechargeable. This also secondary batteries. So this is the Duracell. This also primary batteries. So we can't recharge. So these are the secondary batteries, and this is the primary batteries. Coming to primary batteries. So primary batteries are the non-rechargeable. Primary batteries are non-rechargeable, only they are used single use. The reactants are converting into products only. Reactants are converting into products. And in the primary batteries, irreversible reactions are observed. So in this primary batteries, these are the non-rechargeable and are meant for single use and to be discarded after use. So these are the non-rechargeable. We can't recharge. After discharge, we can't reuse. That means it is a single use and we are discarded after use. These are non-reversed and are less expensive and are often used in ordinary gadgets like torchlights, watches and toys. So these primary batteries mainly we are used in the toys and the watches, gadgets and torchlight, etc. So in this, cell reaction is not reversible. In primary batteries, the cell reaction is not reversible. No electricity is produced after complete conversion of reactants to products and cell becomes dead. So in the primary battery, reactants are converting into products only. So So these are non-rechargeable batteries. After reactants are converting into products, we can't reuse. The battery become dead. These batteries are used as source of DC power. So which the primary batteries? Primary batteries are mainly used for source of DC power. And the best example for primary batteries are lithium cells, dry cells. So simply we are called a Lakeland cell, and alkaline cells. Now coming to secondary batteries are the rechargeable batteries, and here reversible reactions takes place. Reactants are converting into products are converting into reactants. These are reused batteries. We are multiple cycle, we are recharged, and multiple times we are used the secondary batteries. These rechargeable batteries which are designed to be recharged and used multiple times. The cells in which the cell reaction is reversed by passing direct current in opposite direction. In this cell reaction is reversed by passing direct current in opposite direction. The secondary batteries can be used through a large number of cycles after discharging and charging. For example, we are using the mobile. In this mobile is discharged. Again we are charged. Charging takes place now. After that again discharged. Again we are charged and we are using. That is multiple time uses. Secondary batteries are we are used for multiple times. The cell reaction is reversible. The reactants are returned back to products. The cell reaction is reversible. The reactants are returned back to reactants by application of current. These batteries are also source of DC power. Best example for this one is lead acid cells and nickel cadmium cells. The main difference between the primary and secondary batteries, the primary batteries are non-rechargeable and secondary batteries are rechargeable. In the primary batteries, irreversible reaction takes place. Irreversible reaction means reactants are converting into products only. So that is called as irreversible. Now in the secondary battery, the cell reaction is reversible. Reactants are converting into products are converting into reactants. Must be discarded after use. Which on the primary cells we are discarding. After discharge, we can't reuse. So that is the discard of use of primary cells. So the secondary cells may be recharged, have relatively short lifetime. Which one? Primary cells. Primary cells have the short time, having the relatively short shelf time, and the secondary having the long shelf life. Functions only as galvanic cells. Which one? Primary cells functions only galvanic cell. Functions both galvanic cell as well as electrolytic cell. They can't be used as storage devices. Which one? Primary cells. The primary cells we can't use as a storage devices. This can be used as energy storage devices. That is in solar, thermal energy converted to electrical energy. They can't be recharged. Which one? Primary batteries. Primary cells are primary batteries. We can't be recharged. And the secondary batteries are rechargeable batteries. Again and again we are charging takes place. Best example for primary cells are dry cells, alkaline cells and lithium batteries. And the example for secondary batteries are the lead acid batteries and nickel cadmium batteries, lithium ion batteries. These are the main differences between the primary batteries and the secondary batteries. Now we are discussing about the primary battery, that is the dry cell or Lakeland cell. So what is the function of dry cell, and what is the reactions takes place at cathode, and what is the reaction takes place at anode, and how the metal undergo oxidation, how the metal undergo reduction, that only we are discussed in the primary batteries of Lakeland and dry cells. So this Lakeland or dry cells consist of cylindrical body. So this is the cylindrical body. In this, so this is the positive terminal, positive terminal, and this is the negative terminal. In this middle of the cylindrical body, we are inserting the carbon rod, and this is the zinc plates, zinc caching, zinc plates, and surrounding the graphite rod, we are using the electrolyte solution, that is ammonium chloride plus ZnCl2 plus MnO2. These all are the electrolyte solution. By using the gelatin, we are make it as a paste. Surrounding the graphite rod, we are using these electrolytes. Then the reaction in the dry cell consists of a cylindrical zinc container which acts as a anode, which acts as a zinc body. This is the zinc body. Now this acts as a anode. A graphite rod is placed in the center. So this is the graphite rod and acts as a cathode. The graphite rod does not touches the base and it acts as a cathode. Graphite rod is surrounded by powdered MnO2 and carbon. The remaining space is between cathode and anode is filled with a paste of ammonium chloride and ZnCl2. Ammonium chloride, that is NH4Cl plus ZnCl2 paste we are using. The graphite rod is fitted with a metal cap and the cylinder is sealed at the top with a pitch. In the dry cell, anode is the zinc rod, and cathode is a carbon rod, that is a graphite, and electrolyte is the ammonium chloride NH4Cl plus ZnCl2 plus MnO2. So anode is the zinc plate, cathode is the carbon rod, that is graphite, electrolyte is the ammonium chloride, ZnCl2, MnO2. In this primary battery, that is a dry cell, the EMF of this cell is 1.5 volts only. That produce the EMF of this cell is 1.5 volts. So in the dry cell, at anode undergoes oxidation. Zinc plate is the anode. Now Zn form as a Zn plus 2 plus 2 electrons. So this is the oxidation reaction. At cathode, MnO2 is reaction with 2 moles of water molecule plus gaining of 2 electrons form as a Mn2O3 plus OH minus. So this OH minus is a reaction with ammonium chloride, NH4Cl plus 2OH minus, that form as a ammonia plus Cl minus plus H2O formation takes place. This ammonia is reaction with ZnCl2, that form as a Zn NH3 Cl2. In this, the overall reaction, that anode and cathode, the redox reaction is Zn plus MnO2 plus NH4Cl form as a Mn2O3 plus Zn NH3 Cl2. So this is the overall reaction in the dry cell or Lecland cell. So this is the called as redox reaction. Redox reaction. So the reaction takes place in the cell or at anode, zinc form as Zn plus 2 electrons. At cathode, reduction takes place. 2 MnO2 is reaction with the 2 moles of water molecule plus gaining of 2 electron takes place, that form as a Mn2O3 plus 2 OH minus. This 2 OH minus is reaction with ammonium chloride, 2 moles of ammonium chloride, that form as a ammonia plus Cl minus plus 2 H2O. So this formed ammonia is reaction with ZnCl2 that form as a diamine dichloro zinc formation takes place, that is ZnNH3 2Cl2. The net redox reaction is Zn plus 2MnO2 plus ammonium chloride, that is 2NH4Cl form as a Mn2O3 plus ZnNH3 2Cl2 plus water molecule formation takes place. These all reactions are at anode. This type of reaction we are observed. At cathode, these all reactions we are observed. The net reaction is this one. So the main application about the dry cell is mainly we are used in flashlights, portable radios, tape recorders, calculators, quartz wall clocks, etc. And the limitations of the Leclanche or dry cell are dry cell gives the low voltage when it is used continuously. When we are using the dry cell, what happened? The EMF value is fall down. So that's why that gives the low voltage. The cell gets discharged slowly even if it is not in use, since zinc is dissolved acidic electrolyte. So the cell, which one? The dry cell is discharged even we are not use the battery. And advantage about the dry cell or Leclanche cell is this is the low price and gives a voltage is 1.5 voltage. Normally works without leaking. Possess high energy density. Which one? The dry cell possesses the high energy density and there is no toxic. Contains no liquid electrolytes. Which one? The dry cell or Leclanche cell contains no liquid electrolytes. These are the advantages about the dry cell or Leclanche cell. And disadvantages about the dry cell or Leclanche cell is if current is rapidly drawn from its products gets build up on the electrodes, so causing drop in voltage. So in the disadvantages, what happened? The voltage is dropped or voltage is fall down in the dry cell or Leclanche cell. And one more point, one more disadvantage about the dry cell is a dry cell becomes dead after a long time, even if it is not in use. Electrolytic medium is acidic ammonium chloride. So the zinc metal slowly dissolves. So the dry cell, even we are not used for long time, what happened? That become dead. These are all about the applications, advantages and disadvantages about the dry cell. Now next one is the secondary cells. So these are rechargeable batteries which are designed to be recharged and use multiple cycles. So the secondary batteries are the rechargeable and these are used multiple cycles and reactants are converting into products. Products are converting into reactants. When the secondary batteries can be used through a large number of cycles after discharging and charging. These batteries have very large capacitance and lying periods of low current rate discharged. The cell reaction is reversible. The reactants are returned back to reactants by application of current. And these batteries also mainly they are used in DC power, source of DC power. And the best example for this one is lead acid cells and nickel cadmium cells. So now secondary battery, the best example of secondary batteries is lead acid storage cell. So in the lead acid storage battery, this is the rechargeable battery. In this lead acid storage battery, how the charging reactions takes place, how the discharging reaction takes place, how the battery discharged and how the battery recharged, that only we are discussed in the lead acid storage cell. So in the lead acid storage cell, it consists of lead. So that lead is the anode and lead dioxide is the cathode and electrolyte is the, in the lead acid storage battery, PB is the anode, and PbO2 is the cathode, and here electrolyte is the 20% of H2SO4 we are taken. The storage cell can be operate both as voltaic cells and electrolytic cell. Which one? The lead acid storage cell operate both of voltaic and electrolytic cell. It acts as a voltaic cell when supplying energy and as a result eventually becomes rundown. The cell operates as electrolytic cell when being recharged. So in this lead acid storage battery, anode is the PB plate and cathode is PbO2 plate, that is the negative plate, and this is the positive plate. And electrolyte is 20% H2SO4. So this cell consists of a series of Pb plates, that is negative plates, and PbO2 plates, that is positive plate, connected in parallel. So this is the diagram about the lead acid storage battery. Here red is there, this red color is there, red is the PbO2 plates, and blue is the Pb spongy, that is the lead plates. So these all are connected in parallel, and this all combination we are immersed in the H2SO4 solution. H2SO4 solution. And one more point, this both cathode and anode, negative and positive plates, are separated by a insulator. Like that insulators are wood, rubber or glass fiber. Now the battery first discharging takes place. How the discharging reaction takes place, how the charging reaction takes place, let us discuss now. So this is the diagrams about the lead acid storage batteries. In the lead acid storage battery, anode is the Pb plate and cathode is the PbO2 plate, that is positive plate, and electrolyte is 20% H2SO4. First one, in the lead acid storage cell, discharging reaction takes place. Discharging reactions. In the cell, lead storage cell, the reactions at anode, Pb is a reaction with SO4 minus 2. Pb is reaction with SO4 minus 2 that form as a PbSO4 plus 2 electrons. So this is called as oxidation reaction. So why that is called as oxidation? Losing of electron takes place. So that is the oxidation reaction. At cathode, the PbO2 plate, the positive plate, is reaction with the PbO2 is reaction with the SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus gaining of electrons. Reduction takes place now. So 2 electrons form as a PbSO4 plus 2H2O formation takes place. So this overall reaction, when oxidation and this is the reduction reaction, the overall reaction is Pb plus PbO2 plus 2SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus, that form as a 2PbSO4 plus 2H2O. This is the discharging reaction. The cell reaction during discharging, at anode oxidation occurs. So at anode, Pb is reaction with SO4 minus 2, Pb is reaction with SO4 minus 2, that form as a PbSO4 and losing of 2 electron takes place. At cathode, the PbO2 plate is the positive plate. The PbO2 is reaction with SO4 minus 2 and 4H plus, gaining of 2 electron takes place, that form as a PbSO4 plus 2H2O. The net reaction is Pb plus PbO2 plus 2 SO4 minus 2. That means here 1 SO4 minus 2 and here 1 SO4 minus 2. 2 SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus form as a 2 PbSO4 plus H2O. So these all are the discharging reaction. And this is the secondary battery. So the secondary battery is a rechargeable battery, already discharged. When we are giving the charging, the following reactions we are observed. At the cathode, At cathode, PbSO4 is gaining of 2 electron takes place that form as a Pb plus SO4 minus 2. At anode, PbSO4 plus 2H2O that form as a PbO2 plus SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus 2 electrons. Here losing of electron takes place, this is called as oxidation. Here gaining of electron takes place, this is called as reduction. Now overall reaction is, this overall reaction is 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O form as a Pb plus PbO2 plus 2SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus. So the overall reaction is 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O form as a Pb plus PbO2 plus 2SO4 minus 2 plus 4 electrons. In the cell reaction during recharging, at cathode, PbSO4 gaining of electron takes place 2 electron that form as a Pb plus SO4 minus 2. At anode, PbSO4 plus 2H2O form as a PbO2 plus SO4 minus 2 plus 4 electrons plus 2 electrons. Oxidation takes place. The combining these two reactions, that means at cathode and at anode, the reactions are then when we are combining, the overall reaction is reverse of discharged reaction. The net reaction is 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O gives rise to Pb plus PbO2 plus 2SO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus. So these both are the discharging reactions and charging reaction. The main application about the lead acid storage cell is, these are mainly we are used in electrical vehicles and automobile vehicles, gas engine emission, telephone exchanges, electric trains, mines and laboratories, hospitals, broadcasting stations, automobile and power station. So these, which one these lead acid storage batteries are mainly we are used in automobiles, power station, electrical vehicles, telephone exchanges, electric trains, laboratories, hospitals, etc. These all are the applications about lead acid storage battery. And this lead acid storage battery having the small disadvantages are there. In this, the electrolyte is the H2SO4. This H2SO4 we are adding this is the 20% H2SO4 we are using. So to this we are adding the water. Then in the battery, the fumes are coming to outside. Surrounding the battery, any metals are present, that metals undergoes corrosion. That is the disadvantages about the lead acid storage cell. Fumes from acid solution having corrosive effect on the area surrounding the battery. This problem, which one this corrosive effect is, then this problem can be solved by using sealed batteries. And one more disadvantage is there. If the voltage is exceeds 2.39, if the voltage is exceeds 2.39 volt, that water breaks into H2 and O2. This leads to explosion. Last point about the disadvantage about the lead acid storage battery. Cell has a low life cycle, quick self-discharged. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.